Hey y'all, countryman, back online. I got up at 6:30 yesterday afternoon, and I'm blaming that Cajun down there in Louisiana and that woman on the hill over there, lady on the hill over in Ohio. They kept me up all night long talking on Skype, wouldn't let me go to bed. 6:30 to 6:30 is 12, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. Call it 11:30, be 17 hours that I've been up. We had a blast last night, talking all night long. Shoot, might as well stay up. I've got a doctor's appointment at 2 o'clock this afternoon, so might as well going to be all red when I go in there because I ain't slept in a day, but I'll get over it. The reason I want to do a video today is it's been 10 years since Hurricane Katrina. And that is something that was, at the time, became a big part of my life. I was working for J.B. Hunt at the time. My wife and I had a truck lease from them. Don't do it. But we were called on dispatch over the Qualcomm, the computer in the truck, to call dispatch. And I called him on my little track phone and said, "Hey, what's up?" He said, "Would you do an emergency run down to New Orleans for Katrina?" I said, "Sure, what do you need?" You know, and they knew that I was a chicken trucker back then. We were in Chicago, I think. They deadheaded us from Chicago to PA to pick up a load of water. Now, if anybody knows anything about pallets of water, they weigh close to 2 grand a piece. If you put 12 of them, that's 24,000 pounds. 24 of them is 48,000 pounds. And a 53-footer, you maybe put 40, 45,000 legally. Once they loaded me, they had 2 all the way back, and then they used, or 2 all the way back is the way they loaded. They usually loaded 2, a single, 2, single. That way you're averaging about 40 to 42,000 pounds. But when they double it all the way back, you're grossing about 46, 47, which I went across their scales at about 82,500 pounds, which is 2,500 pound over gross. You're only allowed 80,000 pounds. But with that little bitty piece of paper that they give me there, they said, "Guess what?" And I said, "What's that?" He said, "You don't have to worry about scales. You don't have to worry about logbooks. I want you there as soon as possible. If a cop pulls you over, if for anything besides speeding, show them this." I tell you what, when you got one of them yellow stickers on your door, I think it was yellow or blue, I can't remember the color, on your window, and you go through the scale, and the light comes on because you're 2,500 pounds over gross, and then they look at the little sticker in the thing that says the federal Katrina sticker, or it wasn't nothing but a piece of notebook paper, scotch tape to your window. They just wave you right on through, man. That was cool. And that's only happened a couple of times. But that happened all the way from Pennsylvania down to Mississippi. We got down there. The main start part of the storm went through Gulfport, Mississippi. I mean, there's nothing there still. But New Orleans is the one that got the world's attention and the news and everything. And NASA Stennis, I guess it's a NASA base or an Air Force base. It's a huge one over there in the edge of Mississippi. They sent us there. That was the staging area for the trucks. When we got there, I'm going to say 700 trucks lined up around the gravel road to go to this place in there. And they give you a number. And mine was like 722 or something. It was huge. But that's how many trucks were in front of me. And 90% of them hauling water. Some of them hauling reefers with full of ice. We sat there for 5 days before we got unloaded. It wasn't logistic. The product was there. It was just getting the water, the ice, the other stuff that they needed into the city where it needed to be. If you put 800 trucks in downtown New Orleans or in Gulfport, the disaster relief would be a disaster. But what I'm saying is FEMA got a bad rap for not acting soon enough. The first 2 or 3 days, when you're initiating a disaster relief thing, and they want to know why it takes 3 days to get somebody down there. Well, it don't take 3 days. It takes 3 days to. It took me a day to go from Chicago to PA, and it took me another day to go down there. And by the time I got down there was 500-600 trucks in front of me, and it was a bottleneck right there at S.H.T.F. But we survived it. Now, what all happened at S.H.T.F.? They brought a catering outfit all the way from Oregon to Mississippi to fix lunch for, I'm going to say 1,000 people, 2 meals a day, sometimes 3. They had free. They had free shots and medical care. It was like a MASH unit. There at S.H.T.F. when we were walking around, if you had anything, if you needed your shots updated, or you wanted a flu shot, or anything that you thought you needed, tetanus shot because of the bad water in there, they gave it to you for free. No problems. And I thought that was really cool. Now, we finally got out about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were escorted by a military Humvee down to the Walmart in Gulfport. We got to the Walmart and we pulled in. We went around back, and I seen something going back around there with dump trucks. I didn't know what it was. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But we went around front and we parked there. We had that air conditioned on. It was hot, dude. They had, when we were at the S.H.T.F. space, they were coming around and filling our trucks up. Now, if you know anything about DOT laws, you had to use the clear fuel on trucks because the red dye was for off-road vehicles. Well, they suspended that law, and they were putting red dye number 2 diesel in our trucks. And they said, don't worry about it. Tell them you were down here, show them this paper, and there won't be no tens of thousands of dollars of fine. But they were using the cheapest diesel they could get to put in those trucks. It just happened to be red. All it is a dye. One's taxable and one wasn't. But we got down there to Walmart, and we were sitting there, and they unloaded 2 trucks in front of us. And then it was 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. My wife and I were back here watching TV. We both fell asleep. I woke up. This is, what month was this? April? May? Or no, I guess it was August. It was about the 1st of September, I guess. No, maybe last week of August, 1st of September when we were there. It was about a week and a half, 2 days, week and a half or so after Katrina hit. And we woke up about 6:30, 7 o'clock that night, and I'm all groggy. I get up and I get in the seat, and I see a couple of G.I. Joes walking around there, and this other boy pulls up in the Jeep, and they're National Guard. They're toting fully auto M16s, throw it over their shoulder, and I said, "Hey, where'd everybody go?" He said, "They went back to S.H.T.F. They were done for the day." I said, "Nobody woke me up to unload me?" He says, "Yeah, no." He says, "They'll unload you tomorrow." I said, "Well, can I go back over to S.H.T.F.?" He said, "No, you ain't going nowhere." I'm going, "What do you mean?" He said, "There's a curfew." And I said, "Yeah, I need to get back there before the curfew started." And that sergeant in the Army there was, he says, he says, "You're under curfew. It's already started. You ain't going nowhere. Have a good night." And I'm going, "Okay." I says, "I think I'm safe." And he looks around, and there's like 4 or 5 guys there with M16s, and I'm going, he said, "Yep." He said, "I think you're pretty safe." And I said, "Well," I says, "if you need anything, let me know." I said, "I can fix snacks for you guys." I said, "I got a couple of cases of water I stowed out of the back of one of them trucks, so we're good to go." He said, "Dude," he said, "we got plenty of water." He says, "We got trailer truck floats around here." And I said, "Okay." It was hot, man. It was hot down there. They even, the next day, I didn't notice it then, but the next day when I was in there, I pulled up beside Walmart to unload, and there was a brown line. You know the gray line on Walmart around the thing? Well, this one was brown. It looked like it went up about almost 3/4 of the way up the building or better. And I said, "What's that line?" He says, "That's the water level." There was an 18-foot wall of water that hit that Walmart. And around back, I told you there was some activity a while ago that I wanted to tell you about later. Walmart went in there, and the quickest way to reopen a Walmart after a flood of that magnitude, they went in there with jackhammers and busted out the concrete wall around in the back where the storage was, and they were going in there with bobcat loaders, picking up furniture, TVs, microwaves, computers, clothes, food, and everything, putting it in the front end loaders, taking it out, putting it in dump trucks, throwing a tarp on it, and taking it right straight to the dump and throwing it away. This was brand new products before they were flooded. But they said that's the fastest way to empty that store. Go in there, strip it down, wash it down, repaint it, and put new shelves and new product in there, and get it back up running. Now, Walmart was on the ball on that now. That was less than a week after Katrina. But we finally got unloaded and went and got out of there. On the way from S.H.T.F. over to where we unloaded, I looked on, we was going down this 2-lane road to turn back on Highway 90, I guess it was there. And I look over here on the left-hand side of the road, and there's a pretty foundation. Somebody's building a new house. I'm going, wow, that thing's clean, just whistle clean. Lights all clean, no trash on it or nothing. Until you look at the right-hand side of the road, the bushes and the trees and everything. And, well, there's a house over there that's grown up. I said, well, I don't get it. And I got to looking. The hurricane had blew the whole house, slid it 50 foot to the road, 40 foot across the road, and another 20 foot out in the bayou or jungle to where that house was. It blew the whole house to the other side of the road. It was still in one piece. It just was, I'm going to say, 150 feet from where it was. We got down there and went down another road, and all the trees down there, it was open, like a 40-acre field. On the back of it, it had a fence row of trees. And I know this video's getting long, I don't care. And it looked like they stacked wood up against it. What it was, the hurricane come in there, and all the houses and trees and anything that was loose got blown up against them trees. And it looked like you raked it up with a leaf rake and just put it up against those trees, all the thing. The refrigerator trailers down there that they took the ice in, well, them boys thought they were going to take their trailers and go back and get more ice. You know, they were going through 20 trucks of ice a day for everybody. No, FEMA bought those trailers. Unhook it. Here's your money. Go buy another trailer, fill it up with ice, and bring it back. Well, why did FEMA buy those trailers? Well, I got to asking around and everything, and he said, we're not supposed to tell you what we do with those trailers. And I said, well, what is it? He said, we fill them up and turn the freezer on, and that's what we're keeping the bodies in for storage. What was it, 2,000 people died during Katrina? 4 years later, they were still hadn't identified all the bodies, and there's a bunch of bodies that never got found. The gators ate them. This video is getting long, but this is what I remember 10 years later in my experience with Katrina, and it was something that I'll never forget. Count me out on the hurricane parties. If need be, and they ain't requiring CDLs, and somebody needs me in an emergency like that, I'll get behind the wheel and go on down the road. God bless Countryman out. I just wanted to let you know what Katrina was, what I remember from Katrina 10 years later. God bless Countryman out.